What is up, MAXlife fam? My name is Blake. I'm coming to you guys right from MAXlife HQ, headquarters. Each week, we'll be posting right at 4:30. You can watch it then, or you can catch it any other time. Whether you have been coming to MAXlife for years, or you have never been to an in-person MAXlife experience, we are so excited you guys are here, and we cannot wait to meet you. If this is your first time connecting with MAXlife, shoot us a DM right now. We have a very special digital gift waiting for you. Now let's get started.
What up, MAXlife? I'm just an old prospector. But back in my day, I did chores for free.
Hello, lovelies. So good to see you. We are having a MAXlife game. We are going to run to one of these two spots. We're going to put our head on the stone and go in a circle 5 times, and then do 10 jumping jumps. We'll run back and put hand sanitizer on their hands. Is the winner.
So excited you're with us today as we start our new series called Streaks. Now, a streak is doing something for a consecutive period of time. For example, a sports team, if they win a lot of games, they can go on a winning streak. If you like baseball, a hitter can go on a hitting streak. Maybe you're doing a Snapchat streak for a consecutive period, where you're posting for a consecutive period of time or number of days. Now, I got a question for you. What would be some things that you could streak? Because let's be honest, with all this social distancing going on, we have a lot of time at home, like a lot of time at home. So what would be something that you could do as a streak? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, boom, baby, here's my chance, Mom and Dad. I'm going to do Fortnite. I'm going to streak on Fortnite for this many days in a row. I'm going to do a streak on TikTok for a consecutive period of days. I like the way you're thinking. I love your creativity, and I love your sacrifice. But literally, like, what can we streak that will actually build healthy habits in our life? All right, what can we streak that will build healthy habits in our life? And research shows that it takes up to 18 to 254 days to build a healthy habit. And that's a significant time span, but we're all different, so it might take you longer to develop a habit than it might take me longer to develop a habit. So 18 to 254 days is the time. But developing healthy habits, it starts with a streak. The first 3 things that we're going to be doing to help us with a streak, the first 3 things that we're going to help us with building healthy habits in our life, streaks, is it's going to be PB and J. That's right. Say it with me. PB and J. You're probably like, oh, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. By the way, I see you eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich out there. What's up, man? It looks pretty good. Unless you like peanut butter and jelly, or maybe you're allergic to peanut butter. And then you're like, oh, no, I'm already itching. No. PB and J is not peanut butter and jelly. It actually stands for prayer, Bible reading, and journaling. Prayer, Bible reading, and journaling. And these will be the 3 things that we're going to start streaking, that we're going to start today. And here's why. Because more than ever, we need to be mentally healthy, we need to be spiritually healthy, and we need to be physically healthy. Because with everything going on with the spread of the coronavirus, it's scary. And it's a very interesting time in our country. It's a very interesting time in the world. It's a very interesting time in our city. It's a very interesting time in our towns and even in our very own neighborhoods. So we really need to be people who are praying and who are reading their Bible, who are journaling about our thoughts and our feelings about everything that we're learning and everything that's going on. By doing this, we will stay healthy and develop healthy habits. lives. And this is a crazy time. It's a very crazy time. We got sports teams that are canceling seasons and tournaments, and your sports are canceling, or whatever you're into is canceling. Schools are closed, and your parents are probably working from home. Question for you. How are you processing what's going on? Like, how are you processing what's going on? How are you processing all the news that you're hearing? Because you have access to all kinds of news 24/7 whenever you want to see it. Because of all of this stuff, you may be feeling actually a little scared. And do you know that it's totally okay to feel scared? I mean, it really is. Because there are going to be times in your life where you're going to be nervous. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to feel frightened. You're going to feel overwhelmed. And you're going to be scared. Everything that's going on with the spread of the virus. So it's kind of natural and a little bit normal to be feeling these ways. Actually, the other day, I went to the grocery store, and I've been keeping up with the news. I've been seeing this stuff progress and spreading. And my wife, Coach Megan, she gives me a list, and it says, I need fruit, vegetables, and organic meat. And I was like, got it, babe, on the way. Before I walked out the door, my kids gave me a list. And it says, get us Lucky Charms, get us ice cream, and get us donuts. And I was like, got that too, no problem. So I take off, get to the grocery store, and the parking lot is slammed. So I go inside, and I get my cart, and I cleaned off the handle. And so I push my cart around, I'm looking, and people are all over the store. I mean, the lines at the cash register, they are backed up through the aisles, and a lot of the stuff was already gone off the shelf, and they had no toilet paper. Imagine that, right? And so no toilet paper, and people were acting really nervous, and people were wearing masks, and they were like constantly sanitizing their hands as they were walking around in the store. And as I was watching this unfold, man, I started to get a little nervous. And my mind started to race, like, worst case scenario and what ifs and how bad is it really going to get. And I honestly started feeling scared. And I started feeling like really anxious, like right here in my chest. And here's a little info about your boy. That's not like me. That is not like me. I'm not an anxious person, and I don't really ever feel anxious. And when I do, it's rare. But between the news and the sights and the sound in the store, and between the realization about how severe this virus is affecting everybody around us, man, I started to feel a little anxious. Maybe you're feeling the exact same way. And if you are, it's perfectly okay, especially with what's going on. So to help us understand about PB&J, and how to deal with our anxiety from everything that's going on around us, let's look at a very cool verse in the Bible from the book called 1 Peter. Now, the book is actually written by a man named Peter. Could you guess what the second letter is called? That's right, 2 Peter. You're crushing PB&J already. All right, so 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7 says this. It says, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. And that's a very short verse, but it's a huge verse. So the P in PB&J, Peter's telling us to talk to God like you're talking to a friend. And Peter's telling us to talk to God about our anxieties, about our fears, about our stresses, about our pressures, our uncertainties, anything that causes us anxiety. He's saying to cast them on to God. And I love the imagery that Peter is using in this passage. Here's some background on Peter. Peter was a fisherman. And back in the day, during this time period, fishermen would drop or cast their nets into the water and try to catch the fish. When I was growing up, my dad was a huge fisherman. He still is. And to this day, my parents' basement looks like the fishing section from Bass Pro Shops. And this one time, my dad asked me if I wanted to go striper fishing with him. And I was like, sure, I will go striper fishing with you because stripers are huge and they fight like crazy. But the thing about stripers, you have to catch live bait in order to, like, they really love catching live bait. We had to catch the shad before we went striper fishing. And so shad are like big minnows, oversized minnows. And so the morning came, we went fishing, and we sat down in the boat, and we got there. There was frost on the boat because it was that cold outside. And my dad's like, all right, Chad, get in there. Let's cover up because it's going to be a long ride to the other side of the lake to catch our shad. So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. I got this. So Dad gets in the boat and he hits the throttle. We take off. It was freezing. It was so cold. It took my breath away. I had to hide. I had to lay down the bottom of the boat because it was that cold. So we finally get to where the shad are, Shad Town. I don't know why we had to go this one area, but it's where they're at. And so my dad, he reaches in his box of his boat and he brings up this little net thing. It was like this big, and he had rope around it. So he unwound it and he put the rope on his wrist and he held it by the top, and when he let it go, it fell to the boat because it had weights attached to it. And so my dad's standing up at the side, front of the boat, and he is taking his net and he is casting the net out into the water. So he would hold it like this and hold the end of it up, and because it had weights on the end of it, he had it tied around his wrist, holding the top part, and he would be like, whoosh. He would cast it, and when he throw it out, it would like open up really, really wide because of the weight on the net, and it would go into the water, and when he got to the water, it would sink, and whenever he felt like there would be some shad in there, he started pulling the rope up, and he would be like, whoa, there's a fish, and he'd shake them off into the live well. That's how we were casting our net, and Peter's telling us to cast our anxieties. But did you catch the word that Peter used? It's a three-letter word, but it's powerful. Did you catch it? It's the word all. All, that's right. He's telling us not to just cast some of our anxieties, not just a few, not just the small things, but all of our anxieties on Him, and Him being God. And Peter's saying that we've got to throw off all of our anxieties onto God. Why? Because He cares for us. I mean, how crazy is that? He cares for us. He cares for you. He cares for me. He cares for us. God cares for us. And here's the thing. This is a continuing casting. It's a continuation of casting. Because in a perfect world, you could be like, God, take my anxiety, take my fear, take my depression, take everything I got, all this bad stuff, and like we could like cast it and walk away, and we wouldn't have to deal with it ever again. But notice I said, if we lived in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. So this is a continuing casting. This is a continuing action. It's a continuing discipline. It's a continuing healthy habit. It's a continuing streak. It's a continuing streak. We have to pray continually to God and cast. We got to be like, God, thank you for your presence in my life. Cast. God, here's the things I'm struggling with. Cast. God, here's what I'm dealing with. Cast. Here's what I'm freaked out about. Cast. Here's what I'm scared of. Cast. God, give me wisdom in this area. Cast. God, give me strength in this area. Cast. Give me peace. Cast. Help me stay refocused and help me stay focused. Cast. We got to talk to God and casting all of our anxieties onto Him. Just talk to God about it. When we do that, we are casting our anxieties onto Him. And when we do this over and over and over again, we are inviting God into our life, into our everyday life. And that is powerful. And that is a very healthy streak for all of us to be doing. And that's how you do it. And that's how all of this works. Now, when it comes to praying, you got to remember, you got to keep it simple. We've got to keep it simple. You got to talk to God like you're talking to a friend. If you're scared, tell Him you're scared. If you're happy, tell Him you're happy. Because He knows exactly what you're going through. He knows exactly what you're feeling. But He longs for us to invite Him into our life. God longs for us to invite Him into our life. And the more we pray, streak, the better we'll become at praying. I mean, it's a process, but we've got to start somewhere. So start today. And we're going to be equipping you with tools on how to help you do this. Let's get focused on prayer and let's get our streak on. All right, MAXlife. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope all this served you well and that you were reminded that you are loved and that you are never alone. And listen, as we're going to be closing with this, take a few minutes and read the prayer that comes on the screen. All right, it's a prayer for all of you for during this time. If you're not a follower of Jesus and you want to be in a relationship with Jesus, then there are instructions on how to do this in the prayer. We love you. We miss you. And we can't wait to be with you together. So be safe and get your streak on.